a large crowd gathered together dances through the streets of the Red City of Agmar. There are people of all ages there, some of them wearing masks of different animals and different creatures made out of reeds, but all dancing along in a wild, joyous dance as they go through the city. The parade continues, and the energy continues to raise and rise as it approaches just outside of the Ruby Citadel, the crown jewel of the Red City. There, in the middle of a thoroughfare, is a giant pyre. Stacked 10 feet tall, the wood is placed around a strange ziggurat, a four-sided pillar ascending up to the sky. Smoke billows up as the crowd encircles the ziggurat. An old man, human, goes up to a small dais that has been raised in front of this pyre. As smoke swirls around, he seems to clear his throat. He brings a hand up to his throat, and suddenly his voice is magnified magically as he addresses the crowd. Today is the day of returning. Each year we join together as a community to celebrate. We hold this ceremony on the anniversary of our refounders arriving back to the Red City. And we celebrate their bravery, their strength, and their community. But more, we celebrate those that followed them, and the new city that welcomed them, embraced them, and regrew with them. The Red City was built on the ruins of a capital from another age. But our new Agmar is built on a darker past, reclaimed for the light by those that choose to be here and choose to improve our city every day, together. Today, under the shadow of the Ember Sage obelisk, we take our urns filled with thoughts of that which is past and a sacrifice for the community today, and offer them up to the gods. We stand, we celebrate, we laugh, we dance here today as a community, as a new Red City of Agmar. I welcome you all to the day of returning.
Yay!
Woo! Yay!
Oh, wait.
No, it's a fun celebration. What do you mean? I mean, there's dancing, there's games, it's a
There's
festival.
masks, it's a good time. Yeah, this is awesome.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We're Reckless Attack, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. Boom.
Woo!
Fucking rattled it off. I was not practicing all day for it whatsoever.
I was a little worried you'd do a mic drop and we'd
Yeah, right.
These are new ones. They're nice.
Yes,
I'll
we got
get an
these-
old one out for you.
A sacrificial mic drop that
Yeah,
we can all
right.
just pass around.
This episode's only like 5 minutes long and Nathan's just gone forever.
Sorry, 4 mics only.
Right? Ah, man. Well, whatever.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan. I am your dungeon master here today. Thank you once again for joining us on episode. What is this? Is this episode
36?
36 of Reckless Attack? That is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do the quick math. Is that like what, 8-ish months of episodes or something like that? Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, that would be yes.
Thanks again for joining us here on Reckless Attack, everybody. So excited once again to be here with the incredible, powerful cast and crew and players who unfortunately do have one weakness, and that is consuming liquid.
Drowning.
Speaking of drowning person, hey, drowning person, quick, introduce yourself while you're still
Quick,
gathering.
speak.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jonathan. I play Checkers, the Grunk Druid. I'm enjoying a beer from Off Color Brewing, but it tried to kill me.
We can't. I don't think we should say that if we ever want to have a future relationship with that particular brewery. To be clear, this was Jonathan's own fault. He absorbs all culpability, legally speaking. Off Color, you can still sponsor us.
It's so good. It's tasty. I enjoy it. But David, go.
Hi, everyone. That's very loud. Hi, everyone. I'm David. Oh, God.
I think it's all very loud also at this
you
point.
went down in volume at
No,
all.
also no. He just retook it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm David.
Still no.
And I play Cascarin Brightmane, who
More
cannot control the
outtakes.
volume of his own voice today, thanks to this delightful beer from Off Color Brewing.
Who we hold no way
Yeah.
legally responsible for any bad things that might happen.
Is delicious.
It's going great, you guys.
Yep. And to my left,
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and I am playing Selv Asterlin, the Dragonborn monk. I put a little extra pause in between the names there. There was a bit of confusion that I read
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
That was very funny.
on Twitter a little while ago. It is not, in fact, Sylvester Lynn.
Which is a good, to be clear, is a
it
good
is a
character
good
name.
name.
Cell's
yes.
alter ego, yes.
Yes, and so maybe for the April Fool's Day adventure, you will be greeted by Sylvester
Ooh,
Lynn.
or the undercover episode.
But also,
yeah.
my character was Selvasterlin mixed around with a couple letters replaced.
Okay.
No one ever
Nice.
figured that out. And
Nice,
now's the
nice.
time to say it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to go back and review my notes.
Sophie's just
Yeah.
Sophie's just staring at me. He's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Nevi Lannister?
Mhm.
Nevi Levanster, my
Levanster.
apologies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Again, it's
yeah.
not perfect. There was a couple things that had to be tweaked.
It was a good name, though.
because I-
Leading with the N is really what threw me off. I
Correct.
knew it was something. Thank you for
And again,
finally
it's not a
telling me.
perfect. It's not perfect either. And I think I realized afterwards that it wasn't perfect and that I had fucked it up. It's like, that's fine.
That's all right. It's another thing we can
Tweak and redo for next year.
Yes. We can give credit to Anna Graham. for that one. Anyway, So hey, Red City of Agmar Festival Day. Nothing can go wrong. Everybody's having a good time. And I guess for the final introduction, I'll pass it across the table.
Hello, I'm Sophie, and I play Valeska Carter.
We didn't talk about this.
We
I meant to
didn't talk
mention
about
it. Be
this.
like, what do we
Yeah.
want to do?
Mm.
You
I
play
don't know.
Valeska Carter, who happens to be a cleric
Yeah, there you go. That's
of the knowledge,
it.
of the knowledge
the
domain,
cleric.
Yeah,
the Arcana domain. That's
of
the
the
one.
Arcana domain.
Yes.
No,
What
No
powerful
further-
right?
no further explanation shall.
You don't
be
understand. You weren't there,
henceforth
Jonathan.
given.
You don't know
Oh, no.
what we know. What the secret that Sophie, I, the listener, and whoever edited the episode all know.
Maybe I edit this episode.
Yeah, maybe it'll be Sophie or just that portion. We haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I guess then that's Sophie the Redacted.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Yep.
Sophie the Redacted,
Or I'm sorry,
Carter,
Valeska Carter, the
Yeah.
Redacted.
the Redacted.
No, it's me, Steve.
No, it is you.
I take the initiative and win the battle royale.
That's true.
What a good
I
title.
need to
just
redact
Valeska Carter, the redacted. Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
we'll put it on the short list. Anyway, today is the day of return. The day where there's a large celebration in the city, essentially celebrating its refounding, and it's just, what a great time. There are, as you guys have seen over the last couple days, many decorations, there are stalls, there are games, there are group community activities, there is some sort of strange giant pyre that has been lit in the middle of the city, which is like a whole thing. And again, like we said, nothing bad is going to happen today.
This thing just popped into my head, and that is the perfect name for the undead lawyer of the bones, is the Redacted.
All right.
Fine. All right, fine.
Guys, that's not true. I lied to you. Full disclosure.
It's a good day. Nothing bad can happen on
Something
the day of
bad was
burning.
definitely going to be happening.
Oh.
I guess, in all honesty, during the day.
Exactly.
it's not supposed to
I
happen.
know. The bad thing is that Checkers and Castgren will get into a funnel cake eating contest and have indigestion.
No.
And they'll vomit.
Catherine will decimate Checkers in a funnel eating competition. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and they'll still both have indigestion.
Absolutely. Everyone will be a
Not use
loser at
Mango
the
to
end.
cheat. That's the only thing.
Mango has to be mandated 50 feet away, as long established from prior eating contests.
Junior just has one whole funnel cake in his stomach and just has not digested it at all.
Oh, no. No, there's going to be an attack tonight.
A reckless attack?
We'll get through this intro one day. Well, it depends on how you want to approach it, I suppose. Because as far as you guys can tell, using the best knowledge that you have, the most resources, all of the research, all of the best guess, all of the consultations with experts inside the city, tonight is the night the Moth Man makes its final attack. Creates some sort of disaster that presumably will kill many people in the city. Unless some guilders are there to stop it. I will say you guys would have received a note from the town guard saying that they have released the patrol schedule for the day. And based off of what you know about who was attacked, it is probably going to be some in the bell tower, near the bell tower, and this strange ziggurat that is right there. But don't worry, guys. You have a whole day of nice festivities ahead to really cut loose before all of this happens.
I would just like to say that to figure out exactly where it was, Val had like the bulletin board with yarn, but all the yarn was like in circles of like all of the things, like here are the attacks and what that means, like the dark alley, and then like lined the patrols through it. So it's all these like circles and like where they all overlap their middle of the Venn diagram, which is pinpointed.
Right, exactly. And there's all the bell towers that are all like the
it's all
tacks on
over
the
a
thing.
map. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the best guess that you and the town guard all have about where this attack might happen. Again, very few people know that it is happening. In order to not only not create panic, but to ensure that the Moth Man attacks don't get worse if it is thwarted. Or I should say, if people are not there that are supposed to be there, it might get worse later. So your gambit was to let the festival go forward and try to be there in time to stop it. But that is for tonight's Guilders. The four of you, along with Burga, you all find yourselves standing in front of this massive pyre that is huge, has tons of smoke, and as you were approaching, you saw these kind of motes of green light. But you don't see that now. It looks like just a gigantic fire. And in the middle of this fire is a several story high pillar. Does not appear to have any markings on it, but appears to be made of obsidian, pure, almost reflective black. As the speech ends, a rousing cheer goes up, and you start to see people who are, again, many of them wearing reed masks, holding these clay urns, appear to be walking towards the fire. And you start to see people in no real order, just kind of as they get to the front, just take their urns and throw them in. Each time one of these urns is thrown in, you see it shatter and a green mote just almost explode upwards into the column of smoke going upwards. And each time one is thrown in, you see a little mote be kicked up. Again, all around this giant black pillar that somehow always stays unobscured by the smoke. And I believe everyone has expressed some desire to go do fun things today.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
As everyone was kind of like in the crowd, you would have seen Checkers just kind of, standing there participating around with everyone else. But as soon as people start throwing urns into the fire, basically you turn around and the next time you look at Checkers, he's wearing a reed mask and just has 2 urns, one in each fist, and is just like ready to start running into the by the pyre.
And to clarify, you guys would have all seen these urns like for sale on your way over. Most of these people who you kind of joined the crowd already had theirs. And you actually would have seen people slip pieces of parchment inside of them as they walked over. I'm not going to tell Jonathan or anyone else at the table whether he has taken fresh, unused urns or has grabbed 2 unattended filled urns.
I will say, about 5 seconds ago, he did not have either the mask or the urns. But then he just like double fist, just like hurls them into the fire, and it's like
does like a dance around it.
Does a dance around it.
So, because we haven't done a full character description in a little bit, this is a festival. Obviously, it is a fantasy festival. It has a lot of its own flavor. Thank you very much. Actually, we built a lot of the flavor on our Twitch channel a little bit ago. But I would like to hear from all of you guys. Not just a description of your character. Again, I'm talking full physical description, what they're wearing, what they look like. But what's your carnival activity of choice? And it can be as fantasy or mundane as you would like.
I know what Val's is.
Absolutely. I say go for it.
Val counts the beans in a jar. Val meticulously calculates the volume and amount of beans, gems, whatever fancy fantasy thing it is, but she counts whatever's in a fucking jar.
I'll do you one better. Out in front of kind of the museum square, where a lot of these kind of stalls are just kind of like food, all kinds of stuff. Again, you guys, there's smells of delicious food, of smoke, of course, of just people and humanity, and it's loud and joyous, and there's always music going. But at one of these, I'm imagining a display table, simple tablecloth, and there's a variety of jars and jugs, each filled with a different thing. And actually, there are 7 different jars.
Oh, nice.
And each of them has been provided by a member of the Agmar City Council as a weird little, no context given as to why the fuck this is a tradition, but each of them has a different thing in them. There would be beans, there might be gems, there might be all kinds of things, and you might know enough to be like, oh, I see why they did that, or it's like, beans. All right, man, cool. I guess
they forgot they had to do this.
I was about to say the same
thing from last year.
Just exactly. It's like, got a box of donuts. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely perfect. So you have like a robust option, amount of options.
Every single
I
one.
assumed that would be the case, but I didn't want to presume.
She's going to guess and spend time to calculate. She won't count. She will use her math skills on this. But instead of putting her name down for all of them, she'll put her name down for one. But then I assume there are small children who come up and are like, oh my God, I'm going to guess the amount of beans.
In fact,
whatever.
Yes.
Thing.
There would even be a couple of children maybe that you tutored on the way over.
Perfect.
That you would run into and recognize.
Val will try to convince them to do the math. And whichever kid, please tell me there's at least one, does the math. She'll put their name down as Val's guess.
This is the answer to the question, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to learn math?
Yeah.
So you can calculate the volume of beans in this jar.
Yes, exactly. Excellent. We'll get back to that. I have it written down.
Okay.
I was also going to ask, what does Valeska look like while she is counting the beans?
We just got excited. Thank you, David. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, so Val would be wearing her armor because who knows? She doesn't want to have to run back.
And again, there's a lot of town guard here. This is a festival where pretty much anyone is wearing whatever they want. That can be the finest clothes. It can be people who are farmers who already got up and farmed and still have dirt on them.
Mm-hmm.
So no one is looked askance at for wearing armor. Honestly, as guilders, if you want to be like, hello, we're the guilders, that is a valid marketing technique, I guess. So no one would look strangely if you were wearing it, I should say.
Cool. So yeah, Val stands 5 feet tall and has short brown hair that is braided back and is in a clip at the nape of her neck, and that's where her hair ends. She is wearing her eye mask from her hometown that acts like ancient sunglasses, and she has a like blue collared shirt on under her leather armor, dark blue baggy pants, and tall brown boots. And she probably has like her shield showing the illustrious Atheum symbol, the chalice with an eye over it, slung across her back, so people could probably like easily identify her with that. But then on her chest, she has the golden tree badge, like freshly polished and
God,
shined.
we got to get one of those in our store, don't we?
Oh,
Yeah, we do.
I need
shit.
like a little like enamel pin.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
So, and she's like squatted, kneeling down next to the table, and has like her notebook out and probably a ruler. Like,
Yeah, I'm
measuring
imagining you're
everything.
getting like the full, like you're walking around the full length of the table, like making sure that there's no weird dents anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining that like some people are walking by, take like a cursory glance, and it's
Oh, of
like
course.
it's this many beans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Valeska is like looking at it from like different angles,
Yeah.
like, different
She has for
heights.
sure picked it up. It's like she's like, it's not in the rules. I can't.
Has argued
Yeah.
respectfully, of
Yeah,
course, but has
absolutely.
argued it's like, no. There are posted rules over there, and it doesn't say anything about touching.
You've got an estimated weight, and so you can compare weight and
Yeah.
get the volume.
I know the weight of a single bean if I just multiply it.
Val has quizzed the poor volunteer at this table of what type of bean this is.
And-
It's like
and-
some 13-year-old.
Unless I say otherwise, assume every person working every booth is a disgruntled 17-year-old with too much acne across every species.
I don't know,
across
Miss
every
Carter.
ancestry imaginable. All of them disgruntled teens. Every one of them.
Yeah.
So Kaskrin is a dwarf, and he is a very dwarfy dwarf.
Think of a dwarf?
Yeah,
It's
that's
Kaskrin.
Kaskrin. Yeah,
It's little dwarfs.
yeah. He is a rather, muscular, used to be a soldier kind of guy. He has a long, flowing white beard that is braided. All along his skin are these like golden spirals, and then the ends of his arms and his legs are coated in rock due to a elemental event in his past. Namely, the destruction of the city of Lotros.
Spoilers.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, that's not really spoilers, as it is just like a major historical event.
yeah,
that's true.
That people
And-
know.
yeah,
Kaskrin.
right?
These
That-
are listeners,
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I'll
No,
yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
I want them to know.
you drop the lore when you want. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
that's right.
like,
This
we
is how I
haven't talked
reveal it.
about
Is during the day of returning.
Yeah, during the festival.
Casually.
Yeah.
Well, also about to go into some
Yeah.
carnival game.
the funnel cake eating.
Right. Yeah.
competition,
Real ups and downs. Yeah. So he is, wearing his like reddish full plate armor. He is ready to go to battle tonight. He has his war hammer strapped to his back, and he is a menacing looking soldier on patrol today. He is kneeling down next to something, and you can kind of see like the camera swivel around to like his face, where he has this intense look of concentration, and his eyes are just like going from one end to the other, just like following something back and forth. And his hand is reached out, ready to snatch something. And then the camera just pans back out, and he is stooped over a rather small pool of water with a number of wooden ducks floating in it and just circling around in it.
Lightly agitated.
Yep.
Someone is using mage hand to kind of like swirl the water around.
And Kaskrin just looking, and all of a sudden he snatches one from the water and looks at it. Throws it on the ground in just utter disgust at not having picked
the right one, and goes back to looking.
But can't be pulled away.
He like hands another like 5 copper
Yeah,
to the,
right, whatever
the
it
attendant,
is.
and then like goes back.
to the disgruntled teen. Who is
What is the prize that you get when you pick the right numbered
Fucking
or
honor?
star?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Glory? There is a small frog plushie that is hanging at the very top of a pyramid of rewards.
Sorry, can the prize for Val's be a sky whale plushie?
I will ask.
One of the prizes.
No. No one say anything about what you'd like your prize to be
Okay.
from now on, and we will resolve what happens.
Okay.
Speaking of frogs, let me tell you about frogs. I am playing Checkers, the Grung Druid, and Checkers is not 1, not 2, but 3 frogs, all stacked on top of each other. But the bottom frog is Mango, a medium-sized rotund boy wearing a saddle and a water barrel.
Medium-sized, large boy.
Yes, the largest medium boy.
Truly fills out that 5-foot square
Right.
that you were allotted.
Mm-hmm. Checkers is the main blue frog, and he is wearing from bottom to top a kilt, a leather cloak, and a tricorn hat.
I
And
always
the-
forget about the kilt.
yeah.
My mind, he said bottom to top, and my mind was like top to bottom. And I was like,
No,
why is
no.
this kilt on his head?
Well, but the top of the very top is Junior
Yes.
sitting in the tricorn hat. So I had to go in reverse
That
order.
makes complete sense. My brain just did not process
It is
correctly.
not outside the realm of possibility for Checkers to show up with a kilt on his head.
No.
Is the problem?
No,
So-
absolutely not.
And what Checkers is doing today is he is at the church grounds participating in the wood carving totem competition.
Yeah, indeed.
Amazing.
So while everyone else is kind of carving these intricate designs into these large upstanding logs, what Checkers is carving actually looks to be strangely humanoid. And
Strangely humanoid is...
yeah. And Checkers is actually pretty good at wood carving. You may have seen him just in the past doing little carvings. He actually carved the knight pieces that he gifted to Selv. But as the day goes on, it kind of takes shape, and then Checkers goes out and gathers some more garments to
I was
put,
gonna
to,
say.
to put on his totem carving. He is actually going to make a life-size mannequin of Alorith, the PI tree guy. And when Kaskrin goes to his room later in the afternoon, he opens his door to just find this wooden tree person standing in the middle of this room. And just like, Alorith, what are you doing here? And it turns out it's actually just the totem that Checkers carved. It takes me a second to be like, why isn't he moving? Yeah. I told you not to go into the room.
I thought we warded against this.
Yeah, right. It's like, Alorith, I told you, like, use the door.
Damn it, it's on.
But now we just have our own life-size Alorith just hanging around the guild tray.
I like that.
Thanks,
Good.
I hate it.
I like to just imagine Checkers did not wait for like judging or anything.
No.
He's like, no, I should take this
It was
now.
not even in the realm. It's like, it doesn't
You
even
just
look like
needed
a
the
totem.
wood.
Yeah.
You needed the lumber,
Yeah,
and that
right,
was it.
yeah. It's like, this is free, right? Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. So Selv is actually walking around looking at the different carnival attractions, and he is a silver dragonborn. He stands just under 6.5 feet tall. And so he's, generally speaking, a good half-foot taller than most of the people that are around,
Yep.
if not more than that. So from his perspective, everything is a sea of hair. And so occasionally he has learned to kind of recognize his companions based on what they wear on their heads, you know, whether it's hairstyle or tricorn hat or just a
Bald.
a bald.
Spirals
The
on
bald,
there.
Yeah,
the spirals, the spirals. So he's just kind of walking around, and right now wearing kind of a loose fitting gi that is made out of different combinations of red and gold. So today is it's a mostly red gi because that's kind of his more durable one. The other
The fighting gi.
the fighting
Yes.
gi, yes. The one that is mostly gold is more for ceremonial purposes and where he needs to get fancied up.
Where you're not going to get blood on it.
Yes, exactly. The red will not show the blood, so that's kind of why he wears that. And a gold sash going across his chest, and then wrapping around his waist. the insignia for the Golden Tree Guild is on his part of the sash that is wrapped around his waist. And he's got his staff with him, and he's kind of using it as a walking stick while he's going through the crowds. He stops at one of the carnival games that is, I think most commonly it's known as Jacob's Ladder.
Which one's that
Is that
one?
the thing you climb?
Yeah,
Yes.
the one you climb on.
So
Oh my God, Self, you're too tall. It's cheating.
He just jumps.
So that is the one that is it's anchored to the ground at one point, and the top of it is, I think it goes up at about a 45-degree angle, and it's anchored to either a tree branch or the tree itself at another point, another single point, and then basically there's maybe 5 or 7 ladder rungs, and the idea is you start at the bottom and you have to climb up to the top and ring this little bell, and so he's looking at it, and he kind of does a quick up and down of how long that ladder is, and then looks at his feet and kind of like puts his eyes up to the top of his head and just kind of channels Val for a moment and does a quick calculation of which rung he would have to stand on in order to ring the bell, and then kind of starts to move forward. And then the kid in charge,
Yep.
just kind of
Dean, thank you for keeping the lore.
Yeah, kind of puts a hand up, basically says, "I'm sorry, sir, you must be below this height in order to use this game."
No, actually, and beyond that, then he says, but actually, we have another one set up around back, for the more height proficient ancestries and races here on Rixia, for we welcome all people here in the Red City of Agmar.
So
I love that he remembered what the volunteer coordinator told him to say.
100%. Exactly.
You didn't have to pull out a note card or anything.
He said it a few times already.
So Selv will give a quick bow to the kid and thank you, and make his way around to the other side, where I imagine there is a much taller ladder attached to a larger tree, and basically
You see, a Goliath.
A Goliath.
Goliath
I was just trying to scramble up there, and then kind of flips around and falls off. There's generally there is a pile of either cushions or hay underneath. So what Selv ends up doing is he walks up there, gets in line, and then he actually doesn't climb it like a regular ladder. He basically steps on the first rung in the middle and just tries to walk up it.
Wow. Okay.
Until he gets to the top, and then he flicks his foot to ring the bell, and then tips over and rolls off the.
Sir, I'm not sure you're supposed to do that. But, excellent.
I love that in a magical world with all of these options and a giant obelisk pyre, we all chose incredibly mundane.
No, this was perfect. That would be there. These are all things that would be there and still be delightful.
I will add my highly magical thing that I thought of was because Val is so short and Selv is so tall, Val is just doing encode thoughts, and she's jumping in the air a little bit, so that her ribbon of light is at Selv's face height almost.
So you can be seen in the crowd?
So he could find her. So she's just jumps in the air with encode thoughts I'm going to the pretzel stand. I saw Cass go that way.
It's not even messages. It's just the thought of Valeska visualizing herself holding a pretzel and eating it.
That's perfect. I am going to ask all of you to make me a D20 roll. I'm going to say for Selv, acrobatics. I am going to say for Kaskarin.
Please don't say dexterity.
No, I wasn't going to say dexterity because it feels like a degree of mental and timing. I'll leave you. You can decide what would you like to roll.
Okay, I am going to do insight because I'm going to really analyze these ducks.
Yep.
You can read the situation.
Yeah.
Reading the situation
Yeah.
of wooden ducks. Checkers, do you have any proficiency?
I'm proficient in woodcarver's tools.
Fucking wonderful.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
I am going to say you get to roll whatever your dexterity plus your proficiency is.
Mm-hmm.
Val, I would say, I don't know, probably just some sort of intelligence check. I don't know math. is math on
Math
your
is
character
not-
character sheet?
The only subject is history, really, but
The history.
It's intelligence.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Why isn't math a skill?
What about investigation?
Ooh, investigation.
Or perception?
Investigation, I think, because that's intelligence, right? Is
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, this is not
Yeah, but
a glancing
perception's
look at
better.
beans. This is a investigation.
That's right. You are
into these
investigating
beans.
these beans. Everyone, roll me a d20, please.
guidance.
I think that's reason.
That would
also-
constantly be.
I was gonna say,
casting guidance.
like a very. Could you imagine how fucking intense it is to be again this disgruntled teen and have a fucking holy cleric who is in armor come up, spend 40 minutes at your booth, all the while muttering under her breath prayers to sharpen her senses. Right, just but the whole time investigating
Yeah.
7 jars.
She will take a break casting guidance on herself to cast guidance on the small child she's trying to teach math to.
Nice.
Perfect. Actually, you roll me 2 d20s. The first one will be for you,
Oh,
and the
okay.
other one will be for a child.
Small child.
Guys, we rolled very well narratively for fun, good times.
Hi everyone, Jonathan here with the midroll. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you've been enjoying the episode so far. If you want more Reckless Attack, come hang out with us on Twitter at reckless_attack, or on Instagram at recklessattackpod. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon and Coffee, where we've got things like our How to Promo Guide, or custom adventures written by our very own cast. Don't forget to leave us a follow and a review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Find links to all of these on our website, recklessattack.com. Thanks again. Back to the episode.
So I'm imagining, again, this is all kind of taking place all part of a montage, right? But I'm imagining like, there was a time and place where you guys were all going to meet up together just to be like, hey, let's check in. How are we all doing? We haven't eaten too many funnel cakes yet. Maybe, hey, let's do a quick trip to Pete's Meats, whatever it is that you guys want to meet up for. Anyone who rolled over like DC 13 or so at least gets a prize. And I will leave it up to you guys for, especially for the competitions and stuff, as to, adjudicate appropriately. But you guys have all agreed again to come together to meet up again. Maybe it's lunchtime. Maybe it's whatever. Time to begin a 4-person tug of war competition. Whatever it is you've decided. What all are you arriving with after your various games?
So Cascarin would probably come back with so he would come back with lunch, first of all.
Yep.
And mostly that involves like 4 of these just like delectable looking sandwiches, like in the kind of like hoagie roll. That
Absolutely.
he is cradling in his arm, and he kind of sets them down. But then after setting them down, he also reaches into his pocket and he pulls out his prize from the duck pool. Unfortunately, he did not get the frog plushie that he actually wanted, but he got a little wooden disc about maybe 2 to 3 inches in diameter, and it has a small duck painted on it.
Yeah, that's cute.
Arguably better, I would
Okay,
say.
that's pretty good.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
It's like, the kid told me this was a pog? I don't know.
I know. That's what I thought. 100% what I thought you were going to say.
I'm not gonna include that, but yeah.
Or should you?
Yeah, no, but you should.
Quick, David, what does POG stand for on Rixia? Quick.
I don't know. I'm bad at improvising.
It's a very specific thing to improvise in your defense.
Gotta start get your slammer too.
That feels like a slammer if
Yeah.
it's like that big.
Yeah.
But he starts like handing out sandwiches and
Man,
stuff.
90s kids are fucking loving it.
Yeah.
It's obviously piece of a game.
Ah.
This is why Steve's here.
Yeah, right.
Somebody else go next.
Sophie's still figuring it out.
So I'm gonna say, Checkers actually comes back and he has a story to tell. So I was part of this competition, and apparently you're not supposed to take the totem
off the site because then you get disqualified, which kind of sucks. But I did get this cool thing. And he shows up with just a kazoo. And he's just like blowing it. It's like, check it out. It's cool, right?
What?
Yeah. Oh my
This
god.
is the literal worst.
So cool.
I'm thinking just like Valeska's looking up in her spellbook when she learns silence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
You know, just seeing with thaumaturgy can make things quiet. You know, too.
I imagine like
Jesus.
like Checkers isn't even like talking to us. He's just talking to us through the kazoo.
And that's why you can check our shop right now to buy Reckless Attack branded kazoos.
So Checkers kind of got a consolation prize, I would say.
I would say so. He is greatly consoled.
It's exactly what he wanted.
So Selv comes back and he is kind of finishing up what looks like some kind of meat on a stick. Probably came from a Pete's Meats booth. But that's not the most noticeable part. What you can see is he has little pieces of straw or hay kind of sticking out of his clothing in various spots. But the full left side of his body looks like it is covered in flour. And he kind of flicks the stick into some kind of garbage receptacle.
Oh, thank God. I
somewhere.
was worried it was going to be a litterer. Everything was going to fucking change.
And it actually hits the side of the garbage thing and doesn't go in. It kind of flips out. And he just goes and walks over, picks it up, and puts it back in. And he joins the rest of you, and I imagine you're kind of giving somewhat quizzical looks.
Yeah.
And so Selv kind of closes his eyes and just says, "It was the darndest thing." There is a game where you can try to walk or climb up a ladder that is unsteady. I started to climb up, and I was doing rather well. But there was a large Goliath carrying a sack of flour that tripped over something, caught the flour bag on a branch, and it split open. And the next thing I knew... And he kind of gestures down to his entire left side of his body. And actually, half of his face is also kind of like this white powder. And then he just kind of gestures at himself and says, "I might be done for the day."
What'd you roll over there, Steve?
So I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no.
Which brought my total up to 6, which is not quite where I needed to be for the DC
not
13. Yeah. So Selv's consolation prize was he went and bought himself meat on a stick.
Nice.
and decided to walk back. My next stop may be at the something in the water. And he keeps kind of patting himself, and little puffs of flour kind of drift off.
Before I go into Val's prize, Val was helping a small child. That small child did not roll well.
Wasn't listening.
Wasn't listening. So they only got an 8, and I don't think they probably have a modifier for investigation.
No, probably not. Or not a +5.
Yeah. So I would like to say that they get like a consolation prize similar to Cass's, but it's just got like
It's a bean.
It's a wooden disc with a little bean painted on it.
I was gonna say like a bean
Agmar's
or a
really
number.
into pogs, actually.
Turns out it's a collectible item.
Yeah.
Festival.
Canon.
But yeah, she gets a bean puck.
Done. Fucking done.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Which is why you should check out our merch store for our Reckless Attack branded pogs.
And the second she gets it, she's stoked about it. Like any prize, she's
Absolutely.
super young. She's like runs off to find her parents. Like, I got a bug.
And her parents are like, what one was it? Was it one of the rare ones with the holographic
let me see the border
painting
real
on it?
quick.
Yeah.
And then Val rolled a nat 20.
You get the holographic pog. Yeah.
The
ghostware pog. Yeah.
I would just like to say that Val shows up last, and she's with Berga, and you don't see Val. You see the face of a sky whale above the crowd.
Just bopping along.
As Val has a plushie the size of her. Like, she's holding it up by, like, the armpits of the fins, and Berga has the tail in her lap, and they are both just carrying this giant-ass sky whale.
I'm imagining...
like, stuffed animal.
I'm imagining that Val correctly guessed 5 of the 7.
6. The kid guessed wrong.
Got it.
And Val put her name down for that one.
And it got to the point where like judges had to get together to be like, well, do we give her 6 prizes? Do we do? And like they were asking you, and what they settled on is that you wanted. I assume you, Val, wanted a sky whale. Like, as if that was all on the table, that was your option. And what they decided to do, they made you wait for a couple minutes. And eventually they actually got someone a large minotaur stomps over, and they explain the situation to him, and he's just like strokes his kind of like, goatee beard almost, and just grunts, does like a big huff, and then waves his hands and casts a spell on it, and he casts an enlarged stuffed animal, and it becomes this fucking giant sky whale, and the judges all look back at you kind of like, eh?
Val is just like breaks into a huge smile, like, yeah!
And the Minotaur fucking stomps off.
I love that this grumpy ass Minotaur made my stuffed animal bigger.
There'll be no living with her now.
Guys, look what I got! Arms above head because so big.
At least we're not going to lose her again.
Very true.
I gotta have to go back to the guild hall to drop this off.
I want to see what Valeska's room looks like in like 3 more months after between Colaprico, this giant sky whale plushie.
Colaprico has their own hen house out back by Hody, thank you.
God, I forgot we had a fucking chicken. I forgot there was a canonical chicken on the podcast. Damn, we have a lot of critters, and I keep forgetting about there's a chicken.
Yeah, that's Val's prize.
Kaskrin has probably been helping like Selv get some of the flour off, just like patting him down and trying to like dust off his gi.
Yeah, there's enough for probably a couple loaves of bread.
Yeah. And he's like also like covered in the flour himself now.
Val, I'll trade you. I got this kazoo.
I'm good. Val is going to learn alarm to put around her skyway.
So is there anything that you guys would like to do together? And what I'll say is that you've all been provided with a handy flyer of the goings-ons of the day of return.
So the day of returning is a celebration of our journey as individuals to reforge this great city into a community. There's not only returning walks throughout the day, but more importantly, there are fun festival activities within the city as well. Mm-hmm. There are self-defense contests. There are wood totem carvings. There is a scavenger hunt, hedge maze, and a rite of cleansing that happens all day at the Waveless Lake.
How dare you skip over the Fair of Progress? Val finds that very fun.
And you missed the food and fair. It's everywhere.
And how can you, Cass, call yourself a dwarf if you do not mention the Agmar Ale Fest?
Well, Kaskrin was looking at that, but he really wanted to save the best for last. Because between 2 to 8 p.m. at the Stills and the Walls is the Agmar Ale Fest.
Sunday.
Turned it into a early aughts beer ad.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
I would like, as we all gather for lunch, like to remind my team that there is a citywide scavenger hunt.
You hear just a questioning from Checkers.
Checkers, you were made to win this. Think of a citywide playground where you need to find specific items. You were built for this. You can find anything in this city.
I may have to meet up with you after the rite of cleansing.
And we get clues and we go around the city to find specific things, and we got to be the first ones back.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Huh?
Kaskrin is already looking around to see if there's any other groups in the nearby vicinity that look like they're doing a scavenger hunt. And he's keeping an eye out.
Oh, absolutely. I would say that there are several groups of 1 to 4 people who are now that you see that this is that must be what those people were doing, who are just the most touristy looking people being well, I don't know, should we climb the tree, do you think? Or it's probably they probably don't want us to climb the tree, right? And
Checkers is already fucking up.
a non-zero
On
number of
top of
people
the
who are
tree,
participating, even casually, in the scavenger hunt.
I imagine it's just a lot of groups holding their flyers, like kind of tourists looking around,
Exactly.
Maybe not taking this too seriously, and then it's just Selv, Kaskrin, Checkers, and Waleska, and they're suddenly just it zooms in, and they're just we're doing this.
We're winning this.
Yeah, right.
Nathan, I know we get to pick our own prizes for the other things. What would the prize for a citywide scavenger hunt be?
It depends on what you roll
That's
and
fair.
how good you role play. So, is that the activity? Because if on a scavenger hunt, obviously you'll go throughout the city, you'll get to see a few places and a few other things. But if you're taking it seriously, that's a hunk of the day for certain. So, are you guys all agreed that you'd like to go on the scavenger hunt?
I mean, obviously.
I was just saying, speaking in Matt, I think that we would be very good at this team, and we have Berga here. She's gonna know all the different parts of the city, and there's not a 4-person limit. The flyer doesn't say it. We can have 5 people. And Val's just looking at making direct eye contact with every person, Checkers. Yeah, you could do this. You've been exploring the city already. You are ahead of the game.
I'm just thinking, would Checkers have already found some of the things?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Please say
Yeah.
yes. You found them days ago.
I was
when
gonna
they
say,
were hiding.
you've absolutely ruined at least 1 to 3 of the items.
Yeah. You're
for
supposed
sure.
to leave them there.
It's but I already have them.
I hope on the flyer there's it's a stamp or indicator
Yeah.
that this
Okay.
is a thing for the scavenger hunt, and I show it to Checkers. Yeah, each thing we need to find has this Agmar symbol on it.
And he just turns out some of his pockets from his kilt, and 3 or 4 things just kind of fall out that already have the stamp.
Yeah, I found these a couple days ago.
Wait, what?
That would be great if on the flyer it used to say one thing, but it's been scratched off.
Yeah, I know,
and
that's
now
what I
has
was
something
thinking.
else
That's exactly what I was thinking.
because the item was taken.
Do you really think, Valeska, that this is the best use of our time? I mean, we are seasoned guilders who are looking out for the. Who am I kidding? Yes, of course. We're doing this.
I'm kidding. Fucking, you're goddamn right we're doing this.
I suppose it would give us a good idea of the city layout and for this fight tonight that we have to do.
Just to see all good points, all good
Yeah,
points.
reconnaissance.
To sweeten the pot.
Mhm.
Not that I need to stoke
we're
the
already
flames.
doing
yeah,
it.
right. Yeah.
But please, no, sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
The prize for the scavenger hunt is you get a night of fully comped food and beverage and tickets to Agmar's premier entertainment, which is the Agmar Arcane Show Spectacular, which you guys may or may not know, but is premier dinner theater experience here in the city
So the
of Agmar.
Arcane Show Spectacular. Got it.
These are big deal tickets.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. The Agmar Arcane
Show
Spectacular?
Spectacular.
Okay.
I mean, when
I
Kaskrin hears...
assume it will be absolutely a buttload of fun.
Here's how we're going to do this. Some of the scavenger hunt items are items, you know, truly there is a basket or whatever, and some watchful guard is making sure that someone is not coming and taking 18 of them to make sure no one else gets it. Some of them are kind of, imagine it almost as a riddle or a clue kind of thing. And so you have to find like a landmark around the city that is, at noon, the shadow strikes here, like that sort of thing. And there would be someone there who is looking for people and will stamp your thing for you.
Oh, you get like a little map and a passport kind of thing.
Exactly.
Oh,
There's like a
nice.
passport and almost a checklist of all the things. And it is essentially, you have 3 hours where you receive this kind of checklist from, I don't know, the official guild
The Scavenger
of
Hunt Association.
Scavenger hunters. And once kind of they sign off, they write down a time, that kind of stuff. And then you have a certain amount of hours to get as many as you can and get back in time to turn in your sheet. So, are you guys all splitting up to cover ground?
I think that depends on the clues given.
One thing I would also like to do, in case it helps, is actually Checkers would like to use his urchin ability to help himself and his allies move around the city twice as fast as a normal person would,
Nice.
because he knows all the secret little passageways and shortcuts. So that might help us speed up how many clues we're able to get in that 3-hour time limit.
So what I'm going to say, each of you will get one clue. Correct.
Okay.
I'll just assume you are able to find a thing because it's made to be participated in, right?
This isn't the Da Vinci Code scavenger hunt.
Correct, exactly. They want you to participate. Obviously, it's hard to get all of them, but also it's kind of like and then you get like a community night at the theater, basically. So each of you describe a thing that you find in the city.
Val, her clue leads her to the Agmar Medical Center. And hers is kind of like a bit of a morbid clue. Like, it's like every year somebody at the medical center gets to like write the clue, and this was clearly like the coroner's year. I'm like, she's like, wow, this is a real downer of a clue. But the prize you find is you have to like find like the coroner's office on the outside of the building, and being the morbid person they are, has just like made little graves, and you like dig it open, and there's like a little toy skeleton that like kind of like dances as you shake.
Incredible.
And in a nearby bush, you see the city coroner just emerge gaunt, bags under his eyes, pale as the moonlight, and runs his fingertips together and just, another one is found, and then slowly dips back into the bush.
Val just yells, "Great clue!"
Thank you.
And then runs back to find the group.
Selv's clue actually leads him to the westernmost bell tower, and climbing all the way to the top of the bell tower, next to the actual bell that's there, is actually a miniature version of the bell tower and a small teeny tiny bell with a little teeny tiny hammer next to it.
Yeah.
And so Selv kind of like takes the little tiny hammer and rings the little bell 3 times, just signaling the hour, similar to how the actual bells go off. But this is for the 3-hour time limit that you have on the scavenger hunt. So it's bing, bing, bing. And then shuffling up the stairs comes the regular ringer of the bells and says,
Congratulations. here's your token.
And hands a like maybe quarter-sized disc that burned into it is the outline of a bell. It's just kind of like a they singed into it.
Boy, they were
kind of
fucking love pogs here.
The coroner did not get the message. He was like, no.
I have a vision.
and kind of hands that to Selv and says,
Good luck.
So I think that Checker's clue would actually take him towards the entrance to the city of Agmar, the main gate that everyone entered from. What I'm imagining is that Peter Brill is actually participating.
The Hedgehog Guard.
Yeah, the Hedgehog Guard is actually participating in the scavenger hunt.
Absolutely. He has the day off.
Yeah. So you know how when we first came in, they gave us like the 15 gold stipend or whatever to join for joining the city of Agmar. Peter Brill is just sort of standing at the entrance to the city of Agmar, handing out little bags. But instead of 15 gold coins, it's 15 jelly beans, and just giving them to people. And all you need to do is keep the bag, but you can eat the jelly beans.
Nice.
Done. Perfect and great.
The bag's got like the little Agmar logo on it.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect size for Pogs.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah. It's a prize pack. There's jelly beans and Pogs.
I'm also imagining like when the scavenger hunt ends, like there's somebody announcing everything. And then he's like, oh, and actually, everyone who got the medical center clue, we do have your Pogs. Yeah. That was what you were supposed to get.
Checker's Pog is actually just a Pog with the gate of Agmar.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
So Kaskrin's clue would take him to the front of the Ruby Citadel within the city. And there is a guard there who is kind of like handing out these sheets of paper. And in them, it looks like there is almost like a brick like design. And you're supposed to like go around the walls of the Ruby Citadel and find like where the brick pattern matches up.
Oh, cool.
and like look for a specific brick that's laid in there. And so Kaskrin ends up like spending, most of an hour looking around through this wall, and it's like, is it up there? Is it like over here? And like other people have like come and gone and finished this thing as he's looking.
It turns out it's the one that's been painted blue.
Yeah, right? So he's just like, where is the thing? And like he finally finds it after like such a long period that the guard actually just comes up and just like hands him this wooden disc with like a ruby that's been like painted on it, and he's just like, finally,
my Pog,
my sweet Pog.
Guys, I have bad news. It's not stamps. I think they are just all Pogs now, right? Like, you are given a Pog when you find the right thing. It's no stamps. It's Pogs.
I would like there to be like an end of year festival at which like the grandest of prizes is for the person who got all the Pogs throughout the year at every festival.
Or it's like each year they sell a commemorative book where you can put in your like 2022 Agmar Pog collection, and there's like a slot for each of them. At least for the official ones, of course. This is
Black Market
guys.
Pogs.
I had a lot of lore that I was really hoping to insert into these moments, and this was not it. But it's here now, and we have Pogs.
I'm sorry we ruined your lore with Pogs.
No, you've enriched it. See, guys, and these are the fruits of turning world building over to your players. So you get fucking Pogs. Okay, I think I'm gonna do
the scavenger hunt ceremony, obviously.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Everyone, roll me a d6, and we will say this is the amount that you guys get out of 24. But for Checkers having his urchin background, I will give you guys a +2 to your total.
Do we get any for him already having taken something?
I will give...
Plus 0.5, which now down to 0. Now.
You know what? I'll give you another +1, because I like that character detail. Does anyone else have any other modifiers that they would be interested in arguing for?
I would for sure like to use history and insight to be like, Val has studied
That's
Agmar
very true.
and knows a lot of the history that would be used for clues.
Absolutely.
But also, Val's put on a scavenger hunt in her time. In all like her work with kids and like back at the illustrious Atheum, like this
summer camps?
Yeah, like she's for sure made scavenger hunts before.
That seems reasonable.
And like the brainy kind of not fun ones that get kind of hard.
It's actually for 28-year-olds who are writing their master's thesis.
It's all like it's supposed to be for the kids, but then it's all the camp counselors trying to like one up each other with hard clues.
Some of it is in other languages.
Yeah, got it. 100%.
So I would like to use
that.
history and insight.
I am on board with both of that because that is precious character lore to me.
So Checkers' whole life, I would say, is a scavenger hunt.
But isn't it? Well, when you really think about it.
It's true.
But you know who are the ultimate scavengers? Ravens. And Checkers would like to spend some time communing with the ravens to see if they can help him find any of the additional hidden things in the city. He would like to use animal handling.
Hell yeah.
Just like, hey, did you see anything shiny over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ravens and crows
Fuck.
getting all the shiny
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. I am going to allow this, but I'm looking for those of you listening at home. I'm not looking at anyone else at the table. I haven't blinked since starting this sentence. Jonathan, you cannot have a crow army
Okay.
without spending significant resources.
Yeah, that is fair. I'll talk to like one who just like has the day off. Or
Again,
something. I don't know.
right now, or like it could also be just like you're noticing crows
Yeah.
who are like picking at weird shiny things.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm gonna go check out over there.
Mhm.
And like, but I've read too many stories on the internet of other people who are like, yeah, over the course of 8 months, I trained crows to just bring me money or attack cops whenever they come through my neighborhood. And like, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you got to earn it.
I would say Checkers probably would not do that because he wants the joy of stealing small coins for himself.
Fair.
And making his own nest.
Yeah, he would not rely on other small creatures to do that for him. But that's how
Fair
I would
enough.
like to get an upper hand on the scavenger
Okay.
hunt. So Kaskrin has been going around town after the Ruby Citadel, and because so many of these clues are kind of placed in out of the way places, there are soldiers from the Red Guard that are also, the ones like adjudicating whether
Yes.
people got this or not, also being on patrol. And instead of solving most of these puzzles, he just comes in with like a friendly face and starts making small
I love
talk
it.
with
Absolutely.
the guard,
100%.
and then like slowly slips in. It's like, well, I got this like little thing too. I'm kind of hoping to get a couple more, check marks on this flyer, right?
I love
and
that.
the guard just stamps it.
You can effortlessly pick out a town guardsman
Yep.
who is either very excited about their weird guard duty or very not excited about their weird guard duty, and you can just fucking pinpoint it.
Yeah, he's just looking for the ones that are a little bit bored and need a little company.
Yep.
And he ends up getting like 8 stamps.
but is the progress is immediately balanced out by how long you're at the wall. So you got a normal amount. I'll give you a +2 on that one. I love that one very deeply, David.
So Selv's background is Far Traveler, which essentially the feature is called All Eyes on You. And basically he is different enough that when he goes places, people tend to notice him, and he's kind of a curiosity. And so I think he can kind of use this to I kind of imagine people kind of coming up to him and saying, hey, where are you from? Trying to, instigate some small talk and whatever. But then he might notice that they're doing the scavenger hunt and have something that he hasn't seen yet. And so he'd be like,
Hey, where did you get that?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect.
And then-
I love that.
and then kind of go from there. And not necessarily that they would tell him exactly where it was, but they might help him out with a clue or
absolutely.
that type of thing.
I love that. You can also get a +1, and also everyone gets another +1 for your description earlier of the clue that you got. Everyone give me a roll.
I got 3, so that's 4 with my +1.
No, it was a +2
Oh,
because I liked both of your skills.
okay. So 5.
Nice. Checkers rolled I got a 3, but I get +3 from urchin and animal handling.
And from the scene, so +4.
Hell yeah, 7. Kaskrin rolled a 2, but I have +3 from schmoozin. So I have 5 total.
And for Selv, I rolled a 5, and that's going to be +2.
+2, yep.
Is it okay? So a total of 7 there.
Wowzers. You guys rolled real good. It is now the late afternoon. You guys, again, met up for lunch and then started your hot pursuit of the clues around the city.
Oh my gosh. That means I left Burga with the fucking whale.
Yes. 100%. No.
I'm sorry, Burga.
I'll explain it. Hold on.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do this to you.
And the sun, and I'll actually say it's getting to be kind of later afternoon, and the sun is on the back half of the day, but the party is still going strong, and we find ourselves back in the museum square. there is a small commotion, even is an undercurrent in the festivities. People whispering, excited, interested. Did you hear? Did you hear? Like, what? What? Already? And eventually, you see someone, again, step up onto just a wooden table and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to congratulate our first scavenger team of the year for achieving the first perfect score in the Agmar scavenger hunt. Congratulations to..." I'm sorry, who were you?
Or the Golden Tree Adventuring Guild.
Congratulations to the Golden Tree Guild! And everyone cheers. Like, people are very genuinely excited about it. And, you know,
Val runs up and, like, jumps to give Selva a high five. She's so excited.
And Selv will hold his hand out straight.
Val cannot jump that high.
And we end on Selv holding his hand essentially parallel to the ground as Val runs up in slow motion, freeze frame high five. And in the background, set against the sunlight, the camera fades into focus and sees, is that a sky whale flying up in the air?
Flying?
No, it's Val's stuffed animal being carried back to the Golden Tree Guild by Taroth. And that is where we will end this week's episode. We will do more festival next week, and we will get to the battle of the Moth Man. See you then, everybody.
Bye.